On today's episode, we're talking Oscars. Who we think will win and who we think should win and why. Find out on our premiere episode of Pure Screen Gems podcast. Well, hello and welcome to our very first episode of Pure Screen Gems podcast. I'm your host, Andre, and I'm joined by my very pure gem, Chantal.
Hello, lovelies. Welcome to our first podcast.
Finally!
It's here.
Oh! It's after so long. I mean, it took us such a long time to get here.
Absolutely right. But we're here. And we are going to talk
Oscars.
Yes.
And a little bit about how this whole thing started. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, but I always thought that doing one just by myself wouldn't be engaging enough. Then one night, Chantal says, "You know what? I'd like to do a podcast with you." Huh?
Yep.
So I said, okay, let's try it together. That was 3 years ago.
Let me correct you. Not quite.
Yeah, it was.
But a while ago.
Oh, it was actually... Actually, it was 3.5 years ago, and I'll tell you why. The day you told me this, and this is why I'm glad we're doing this in February. It's kind of symbolic. The day that you told me you wanted to do this was the same day Chadwick Boseman had died.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. Okay.
And
interesting.
And since February is Black History Month.
Yeah, okay.
So there is a correlation there. So, after several hits and misses, more misses than hits, but we finally got it. So, with a little help.
We finally buckled down, basically.
Yeah. And
we're professional procrastinators, okay? This is what you need to know, people. We're procrastinators at moments. So this was on and off because it was technically, I think, it shouldn't have been a challenge technically because people are putting on podcasts that seem so easily done. Yet, for some reason, the technical aspect was, I believe, a little more challenging for my husband because he takes care of the more technical stuff. Like I'm here, I'm gonna, give my opinion, I'm gonna share my thoughts. But he was the one who set up the social, set up the distribution and everything. And I think that part was a little bit more of a challenge. Why? I don't know, but I think so.
What was really challenging was working with the Mac and trying to. I mean, it's like I said, I could have done it alone on a Mac, but to do it together in the same room with an iMac, that had to be like workarounds, and that's what was complicated.
So my husband is criticizing Mac.
No, not really.
Criticizing.
It's like I said, there were workarounds. I just didn't know how to do it. That's all.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
So we always wanted to do this, and I remember you giving a deadline. Let's try and do this for the Oscars.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because hey, what better way to start a Pure Screen Gems podcast where we talk about the small screen and the big screen than the Oscars, which celebrates the best of the big screen.
Exactly. So I said, well, let's do this, and now that everything's done. And what's funny is that we almost recorded this yesterday, and this episode would have been completely different had we done this yesterday. We would have known the results of the SAG Awards that came out last night.
Yes, because we did. We watched the SAG Awards.
So
that's right.
So this is going to be interesting. So that's pretty much the background of how this podcast came to be. So without further ado, let's jump into the Oscars, and what our predictions are, and who we think will win, who we think should win, and why. All right.
Absolutely.
So let's go with the actor in a leading role. The nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Okay, I'm sorry. There is no contest for me. It's gotta be Murphy. Really, you know, after last night, he's been winning every award.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Golden Globes, the BAFTA, the SAG Awards. I'm not guaranteeing a lock, but I mean, if I will be thoroughly surprised if he doesn't win this one.
I have to agree. I mean, his performance in Oppenheimer was absolutely amazing. But I'm gonna say that, I mean, you're right in that Cillian Murphy is probably the one that's going to win this award because of, as you said, the previous wins. But let me tell you, Bradley Cooper in Maestro was mesmerizing in my opinion. He absolutely, I think that he pretty much nailed this character, and it was a very big challenge for him to learn the technicalities of conducting along with the emotional and other physical aspects of the character. And I think he did an absolutely brilliant job playing Stephen Sondheim, because I thought it was just amazing.
Oh yeah, well, I agree with you. I mean, after watching that movie, he was amazing, and I mean,
I said it's Leonard Bernstein. I said Stephen Sondheim. I'm sorry, it's Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah,
I made a boo boo.
It happens.
But the point being is that playing this character, Leonard Bernstein, this maestro, this absolute whiz, musical whiz, he was just amazing.
I mean, and we've seen, except for I haven't seen Rustin, so I cannot comment on Coleman Domingo. The only thing I can say is I cannot wait to see this actor play. Why am I freezing on his name? Unforgettable. The song Unforgettable. Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So he'll be, I believe, playing and directing that movie. So I can't wait to see that. So if we go to actor in a supporting role, we have Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. And before we go any further, we should say neither of us have seen all 10 movies that have been nominated. I've seen 9 out of 10. I believe Chantal has seen...
I've seen 8. Yes, I haven't seen
so
Poor Things.
Bear with us, please.
Yeah. I haven't seen... I just want to mention that I haven't seen Poor Things or Zone of Interest. Those are the 2 movies I have not yet seen. I will probably be able to see them before the actual broadcast. But... So right now, my predictions and my opinions are based on the fact that the other performances that I have seen.
Yeah, same thing here, except that I've seen Poor Things. I just haven't seen Zone of Interest.
Exactly, neither of us have seen it.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, for...
Who will win and who should win?
Who will win, that's pretty much the same thing as Best Actor. It's a God-given down for Downey. So, I mean, come on. Actually, I do remember we went to go see Oppenheimer together, and after the movies was over, we looked at each other. Robert Downey Jr. is going to get us the Best Supporting Actor for this movie.
Yeah, we did walk out of the movie pretty much predicting that exactly. Not that we're, experts, but that performance was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Who do you think should win? The same? Because I think he should, but there's another, performance that stood out
Downey
for me.
will win, but honestly, De Niro had quite a role
Bingo.
in Killers of the Flower Moon, and I mean, he had the kind of role that an actor manslaughters for, not kills for, but but no, that was a meaty role. The kind of role that you're in the background and you're manipulating without,
You're in the background, but you're almost in the forefront because you're so manipulative and you're so powerful at the same time. Because this guy pretended to be the community's friend and their ally, yet manipulated some horrible things. This is, I'm going to say, and I'm going to talk about it more when we go into the Best Picture. This is a very disturbing story. I myself learned a lot because I didn't know about the Osage murders, but this was an amazing yet disturbing story, and I think that I can really understand why Martin Scorsese felt the need to tell the story.
Okay,
but
we'll
talk about more
we'll go back
when we
then.
get into that. But I agree with you though that Robert De Niro does give a absolutely amazing performance in this movie.
He was on his A game. He was on his A game.
Well, he's pretty much always on his A game, but this was, like you said, a very meaty role, a very juicy role that you can really sink your teeth into and go for it. And like I said, it's like it is background, but it's almost at the forefront where it's a powerful background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now in actress in a leading role, the nominees are Annette Bening for Naiad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. Now, up until yesterday, I would have said it would have been a two-horse race between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone, but after her win last night, and I was so hoping Lily would win, and she did at SAG Awards, I'm now convinced it's going to be Lily that's going to win at the Oscars, and rightfully so. I mean, after seeing the performance that she gave, it's like you told me before about The Color Purple. It's
let's not go there.
No.
Are we gonna go for snubs later on because we have to come out snubs?
No. But it is about the spirit of the human. I mean,
it's about the human spirit.
About the
Her
human spirit.
and her, yeah, for sure.
And you said that about The Color Purple, about the movie itself.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
when you told me that, I said, "Yo, boy, you haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon
Yeah,
yet."
you were right though, because that is another form of this is a movie that celebrates that, but in a much more of a disturbing way because of the story itself.
Exactly. So, in your opinion, what do you think?
You know what? I not because you're my husband.
Oh yeah, by the way, guys.
Yeah, we're husband and wife.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
well, we told you in the beginning. I agree. I think Lily Gladstone is going to take this because I think her performance was powerful yet understated. Can we say that? Not understated, but her role was very. She remained like her character. Just maybe I'm wrong here, but there was a serenity about her character. And a naivete about her character to a certain extent, but because I think there's a point where she kind of knows what her husband is doing to her, but doesn't want to. I don't know whether she doesn't want to stir the pot and leave, but where she confronts him, and so but her entire performance is wonderful, and I do think that she's probably going to walk away with the Oscar. Although again, Annette Bening, I have not seen her performance in Nyan, and Emma Stone. I haven't seen Poor Things, but seems to have had really good critical reviews. Sorry, in regards to Poor Things. So
yeah, if I haven't seen.
But my money's on Gladstone.
Yeah, I haven't seen Annette Bening's performance either, but if there were an upset, it probably would be Emma Stone who would get it. But,
yeah,
you know, you never know. So, for actress in a supporting role, Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdover. Now, if we go with what we've seen so far, the whole trend, it would be Divine Joy Randolph that would win. But my favorite would be Danielle Brooks. And she should win. I'm sorry, Chantal, she will not win, but
I know.
She does
agree.
quite.
When she's on screen in The Color Purple, she just controls the whole scene. Her presence is larger than life in this movie. And the character is also it's also her character, but her presence is just so powerful, and in every scene she's in, she's amazing. But as you said, if we go with the trend, if you will, Divine Joy Randolph will probably win. But this is a who will win Divine, who should win Danielle Brooks. For me, this is, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Forget the animated feature film. No. But just for me personally, I mean, I've seen Elemental, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It'll probably be, and I'm talking as a fanboy here, it'll probably be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but hey. But I'd say for cinematography, El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. The only one we haven't seen is El Conde, but
and I haven't seen Poor Things.
you haven't seen Poor Things, but I have, and believe me, I really wouldn't be surprised if Oppenheimer got this one.
It is pretty good cinematography. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
Yeah. For costume design, we've got Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Okay, these are 5 movies I've seen, so you've seen 4 of them.
Yep.
Who do you think would win this one?
Well, you know what? I think for historical purposes, I'm going to go with Killers of the Flower Moon because they were really dressed in the costumes were really, really appropriate to the era. But just for the fun and the craziness of it, the Barbie costumes were really, really fun to look at and fun to they were colorful. They were colorful and playful. So I think one of those two could walk away. But then again, one thing you have to understand here, people. We are not movie
historians
or professionals, we don't know costume design, we don't know cinematography. We just go on what we understand of it. We're just here, we're movie buffs. We're giving our opinions. So, please don't send us any hate mail saying you don't know anything about this or anything about.
No, please do.
Although we do welcome constructive criticism. We are in no way experts, so bear this in mind. That's all we ask. So, I think either Killers of the Flower Moon or Barbie they have a pretty good chance of getting. Excuse me.
Well, for my opinion, I would say Napoleon or Poor Things.
Okay.
Yeah, I go with Poor Things. Yeah. So okay now. Oh, here we go.
Now on to directing, I presume.
Now we're going to go with for best directing. Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall. Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Yorgos Lanthimos, sorry about that, for Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest from Jonathan Glazer. Okay,
So,
this has to be Nolan's year. He's been nominated more than once.
yeah.
He's never won yet.
Yeah. And Oppenheimer's probably going to wind up with the Best Picture Oscar. So often, not all the time, but the Academy is known for most often, the director going on to win Best Picture. Not all the time, but
Oh no,
yeah.
not all the time. It's even happened before that the Oscar for Best Picture is won, but not
The director.
But not the director.
I know
Or
it does happen. Yeah.
or even the director isn't even nominated for his movie.
That's right. That's right.
Perfect example is Argo. Argo was nominated, won, but Ben Affleck was not nominated for Best Directing at the Oscars, but he won the Directors Guild Award for Best Directing that same year. That's what's baffling to me.
Okay.
So, coming back to Best Directing at the Oscars, well, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's got to be Nolan. If there was a surprise, it would be Scorsese.
Yeah, it wouldn't be impossible that
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese would walk away with it. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like last night, the one big surprise, or to me, the one big surprise there was at SAG was, and I was so happy, but I was surprised that Pedro Pascal won Best Actor for The Last of Us.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
What? You kidding? He was so surprised himself. He was not expecting it. Everybody was thinking Kieran Culkin for
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
he was winning
From Succession, because he had been winning up to that point.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying if there's a surprise upset, that would be it. You know.
Yeah, just like Elizabeth Debicki winning for The Crown.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Sarah Snook had won previously. So she, during the broadcast last night, you could see the surprise. She really looked surprised. I think Elizabeth Debicki was genuinely surprised about winning for The Crown. That was, to me, it was a genuine look of surprise when she did win.
There's where the one you thought, okay, because you were wondering for the feature film and international feature films, and you were thinking it was an Anatomy of a Fall.
I thought it was nominated in that category, but it's not.
No,
No, it's in the best
it's the
picture
one
category.
that we haven't seen yet. The Zone of Interest,
Yeah,
the Teacher's
exactly.
Lounge.
We'll make a point of it.
Oh, we
make a
have
point
to watch
see
it.
before the.
Even if I have to buy it, we'll watch. We'll buy it.
We're cheap people. We're trying not to buy the movies. We're trying to either go to the movies when we can. But if the movie's not in theaters, we try to stream when we can.
Yeah.
But
But
don't worry, we do go. We love going to the movies, which is why we have this podcast.
believe me, I'll be going back soon, very soon. So it's 10 Capitano, Perfect Days. Oh, sorry. 10 Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of the Snow from Spain, The Teacher's Lounge from Germany, and The Zone of Interest from the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't seen any of these, but from what I've heard, The Zone of Interest is the one that has the most traction, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the one that would win. So, this is the kind of movie where it's gotten so much buzz that this is the movie that could potentially win both Best Movie and Best international movie. That's why I brought it up on the podcast this time, because just like Parasite did the same thing. That was an upset. Everybody was thinking 1917 was going to be the one winning Best Picture. 1917 was the war movie that was nominated that's the same year as Parasite, and people figured, well, Parasite is going to win Best International or Best Foreign film at the time, I believe. And then they figured, well, they're not going to give two awards like big awards like that, so the other is going to go to 1917.
But lo and behold,
No, lo and behold,
Yep.
boom. Yeah,
Yep.
so
it went to both.
so for makeup and hairstyling, yeah, nominees are Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Society of the Snow. Okay, we haven't seen Society of the Snow, but or Golda for that matter. But just seeing the poster from Golda is like, I would have known that was
Was that Ella Mirren?
yeah.
Ella Mirren, right?
But that's it. You knew. I didn't. I just asked you who do you think that is. You told me right away.
Yeah. Well, she's well made up, but still recognizable.
Okay.
This one I'm not even gonna venture because again, I'm not a makeup hairstyle.
I'm not sure really.
so I
It could go to
don't.
Oppenheimer. It could go to Maestro. But if it goes to Oppenheimer, it's because of the makeup job they did to Robert Downey Jr.
He did, yeah. He did have some nice
Yeah.
nice makeup job done. But like, I don't know. I really, yeah. Probably Oppenheimer because they are well made up. Like they are.
Yeah.
But this is just a uneducated guess.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to go for the big one. Okay, Best Picture: American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. Phew, that's a lot of movies to see.
Okay. Can I say something? Yeah. Let me say something.
Go ahead.
This is 10 pictures.
Right.
It's a lot of pictures. For the one category. I believe at some point they had, well, many years ago it was 5. Then I believe it went up to 7.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Now we're at 10. I agree that we want to give a chance to a lot of these creators, but 10 pictures. I think that 10 is a very big number to choose from. Not because you have, seeing 10 pictures is not it. It's just that for that particular category. But that's only my opinion. Like that's how I feel. That being said, I think this is pretty much a no contest in the sense that I think it's going to be Oppenheimer that's going to win. But they're all really, really great stories in their own way. But another very deserving picture for me is Killers of the Flower Moon. Because it's again, as I said earlier, it's an epic story. It's a very disturbing story, and it was a super important story to be told. I can really, as I said earlier, I can really see why Martin Scorsese was really attracted to this story, and everything about it, the performances, the cinematography, was just absolutely amazing. So it also, I think, deserves that Oscar. But if again we follow the trend, it should be Oppenheimer, which also deserves to win. In this case, I don't think there could be a disappointing choice because they're all so different in their own. I'm not gonna lie though. I'm gonna say that when I saw Barbie, nominated for Best Picture. I was surprised. I loved the movie. I was pleasantly surprised by the movie itself, but to get a nomination, I was quite surprised. And all these movies are deserving in their own right, but Oppenheimer is it's an amazing story, just like Killers of the Flower Moon, because it's an important story that Christopher Nolan wanted to tell. Because this is what's great about movies, is these people, these directors, these creators, they're just inspired by the stories that they want to tell, and the way that they choose to tell them is, to me, so mesmerizing. When I'm in the theater and I try to get my mindset into, I try to analyze, like, why did the director feel the need to tell this story? And when I walk out, I often say, okay, after watching it, I can see now the importance of wanting to tell the story and the way he told the story. And the beauty of it is they're also very, these creators, these wonderful directors, they're also very different in the way they tell their story. So that's, to me, the beauty of going to the movies and watching a movie, is the story of it and the way the story is told. Maestro is a passion project for me. To me, it's a passion project by, Bradley Cooper really wanted this, this movie to be made. This character, this wonderful man, story needed to be told, and he put. You can feel that he really put all of his heart and soul into telling the story of Leonard Bernstein, and he really, as I said earlier, he embodied him in all of the ways that it was possible. Really, it was really, to me, anyways. When I watched it, it was a real passion project. And fun fact, because we're French Canadians, we're proud French Canadians. The main consultant for this movie was Yannick Nézet-Séguin, who is a conductor for, I believe, the New York Philharmonic. Now, I'm not fact-checking right now, so you can, if I'm wrong, tell me. And he is also directing international orchestras abroad, and he's one of us. He's from Montreal, and he also was involved, I believe, in the Montreal the orchestra in the Montreal Orchestra, and he was the one that helped Bradley Cooper master the conducting scene, in the sense of, to make it realistic and to make it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I'm not fact checking right now, but I'm not sure exactly which orchestras, but he has worked in orchestras in Montreal and around the world. And I think, as I said, New York. So he was. I think he was a good, pretty good candidate to help Bradley Cooper navigate this movie.
Okay. Well, I'm completely in accord with you. I mean, Oppenheimer's the movie to beat, but every movie on this list, I mean, obviously, other than The Zone of Interest, because I haven't seen it, is worthy of being nominated. I'm sure the Zone of Interest is worthy, but I just haven't seen it. But I can speak to American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, all of them, and the rest. And they all bring something unique to the mix of this list of nominees. And I'm glad that it's so diverse, because it's like you said, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Hell, A True Story, Past Lives, tells a story of, lives that we live, choices that we take, choices that we regret or not regret.
Our destiny too, where our destiny takes us.
Exactly, And Maestro, like you said, Bradley Cooper, my God. I haven't seen a better movie with him in it since A Star Is Born. The Holdovers, I'm just starting to really rediscover Paul Giamatti, because I haven't seen that many movies with him in it.
Me neither. Me neither. Or TV series, but he is a fantastic actor. He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, he is. And American Fiction, I loved American Fiction. It was not what I expected. Well, just like Barbie, it was not what I was expecting either. But American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright is the first, no, maybe the second or third movie I've seen him in. But just as him, I mean, I've seen Jeffrey Wright play a character that you just don't recognize him. But in this one, yeah, it was him. It was just like, it's as if it was Jeffrey Wright playing Jeffrey Wright, a writer. It was just funny.
Yeah.
You know,
And
but
also a nice, like a good observation on how we see ourselves in society.
yeah,
And just to see him totally surprised by the success of his book, because he did it to cater to a certain public.
yeah. I was going to say a certain demographic, but
Exactly. And so just to see the reaction when the scene where the delivery agents say it's a success, people love it, and just the way he says what, like he's completely surprised by the success of the book, because it was something he didn't expect.
yeah. Well, listen, we're not going to go through all 29 categories. I mean, the rest are more technical, and we were really wanting to go into what was more creative. But
Absolutely. Perhaps you could do the writing though, because again,
didn't we go? We didn't do
no,
writing?
not the writing category.
Okay. But before we do that, I just wanted to say that going through the list of movies, nominees of best movies, made me think of my brother. Every year when the nominees came out, he always did his Oscar run.
Yeah,
when
that's
he
what I
always
called it, the
calls
Oscar run.
his Oscar run. Now, he is no longer with us. And I always would think of, would still do it at 10? I mean, he always had fun doing it when it was 5. But, oh wow. But, so I'm really thinking about him a lot lately. And I'd like to dedicate this premiere episode of our podcast to him.
Oh, that is sweet.
He's
He was like us. He was a really big movie buff.
he was
Yeah, really.
he got me. He really got me into movies late in life. But when I've always liked movies, but I was more action, superhero, fanboy, Star Wars, Star
You
Trek.
still like those things a lot.
Oh, I still do. But since, let's say, 2018, my palette has, like, developed.
You're right.
My palette of movies has really developed.
Oh yes. for
And
sure. Diversified.
guys, I'll give you an example. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chantal. Would it be wrong for me to say that your streaming platform of choice would be Netflix, more or less?
I don't know. I watch I watch a few. I can't really say that Netflix is my favorite, but it's up there.
It's up there.
With Prime Video, I would say.
Okay.
I watch a lot of Prime Video. Yeah.
But nowadays, I've been watching Criterion, the Criterion channel, and that is my Netflix of choice. So, and that is very varied, whether it's a movie from 2021 or 1921. So it's very vast, and I discovered a lot of...
There's even silent pictures on there, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some silent pictures.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 1921 is
yeah,
like,
there's a
or
lot of
maybe
silent
even
pictures
before
on-
that. Yeah. So
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm
was a brain
really So, as I said, this first episode is dedicated to my brother Albert, who's no longer with us for it's been almost 3 years now. So, okay, so let's go on to best writing.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last one.
There's adapted and there's original, like the adapted.
Okay. Adapted screenwriting or screenplay, I should say. American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, well, it would be kind of like.
Yeah. I think again, what will probably win is Oppenheimer. I think we're gonna maybe have an Oppenheimer sweep. I'm not sure, but
With 12 nominations, probably.
But what deserves to win as much as American Fiction. I thought that was a really strong script, smart script for me. But again, Oppenheimer is probably going to win because.
No, I agree.
You think it's going to be an Oppenheimer sweep all the way? I'm not sure.
Well, no.
It might
Not
be.
all the way. Not all the way. No way. No.
But
Oppenheimer is not like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, where it swept the whole Oscars. No way. I really doubt it's going to do that. But for writing,
this is original screenplay.
yeah, Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, Past Lives. This one, I think, The Holdovers
I agree.
should
I
win.
was just going to say, yeah.
They should win this one.
Yeah. Will they? I think they have a good chance.
They should. But will they? I'm not sure they will. It could go to Maestro.
You know what? I was just going to say, I would be really happy because if Maestro doesn't win for Best Picture, but he wins for his writing, or even his it would be really. I find it really cool for Bradley Cooper, to get that recognition.
But it seems to me that Celine Song also won. I'm not sure if it was a BAFTA or.
For the script?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she could win too.
Yeah. So we shall see.
So we will see on March 10th, and we'll be rooting for our favorites. whether it's the ones that we told you or not. So
Absolutely.
So yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, our usual episodes won't be like, of course they won't usually be this way. I mean, the Oscars are the end of the
award season.
Award season.
Yeah,
So
they do close off the award season.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much it. So
We hope you found us
entertaining.
relatively entertaining and smart, yet funny. And again, we didn't fact check everything, so feel free to, the constructive criticism could include, small corrections in what we said, in our facts, because
Please.
we tried to fact check, but we couldn't fact. We're still getting into the beat of, controlling. Well, talking to you guys while we're verifying and also verifying certain information. We're just getting to know the whole.
We're basically
Logistics.
podcasting and podcaster newbies here. So, pretty much, yeah. But we're really having fun doing it. And listen, we're on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Pure Screen Gems. So please like, share, subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
And this podcast will be on Apple, on iHeart, and Spotify. So leave a review and rating.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you feel like it. And
feel free to go like our Facebook page as well.
yeah, our
share our Facebook page. Feel free, and you can comment also on our Facebook page.
Yes, please do. Yeah, it's Pure Screen Gems podcast on Facebook, and also at Pure Screen Gems on Twitter. So you can reach us there. So that's pretty much it. Hope to hear from you, and we will see you next time on Pure Screen Gems podcast. So long for now.